Now then, how's everyone doing? Hot weather outside, and it's even hotter at the bottom of the Premier League. So yeah, I thought I'd just come on, chat to you guys for a bit. Just wanted to talk ahead of the game, and there's no one else available because they've all got lives, but I haven't, so I'm here with you guys, and hopefully there'll be a bit of interaction, and we can have a little bit of a laugh and a chat about what's going on and stuff. Otherwise, this will probably be a bit of a short pod because even I can't listen to myself for that long. So yeah, how's everyone doing? I'm just going to run as a little intro and we'll kick it off properly.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds hating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
He's a utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Nothing spectacular. Well, I'll tell you what, if we pull off a miracle tomorrow, it's going to be more than spectacular. So, but yeah, I'm talking about miracles already after spending an entire week thinking, yeah, we're down, we've had it, we've got no chance, it's over. And then you get closer to the game, don't you? And you start to get these little thoughts and you start thinking, what if Leeds, what if we get people finding out that Everton are going behind and Leicester are behind and the ground starts firing up and the atmosphere goes nuts, you know? And then a minute later we'll concede, so that'll all be put out quite quickly, I would have thought. But yeah, you never know, do you? You never know. Just going to run through some comments, see if Smart is slagging me off already. Here we go. Better not be Jay crying live on YouTube for half an hour. Listen, mate, you go cut your edge. I've heard about you and your manscaping being out of hand, so you want to crack on with that. The crying's going to be tomorrow, I think. No crying today. I'm all right. I'm chilled. For once I'm at peace with whatever might happen. So I've spent all season thinking we can't go down. It's a disaster if we go down. Everything's undone. We've got to start again. Reached that point now where I just want this over one way or another, and whatever happens, and we'll deal with it and we'll come back. Because that's what we do. We're Leeds United, you know. We're not just going to roll over and die, are we, regardless where we end up. And, you know, we'll get us 10% back. So cheers for that, Rods. Danny's saying Rasmus at centre-back, he's been better there. I'd probably continue with him tomorrow. Stephen's saying we need Verber at left-back, maybe Cooper and Cock in centre. Harrison with two others in midfield, so Nolan and Somerville can be on the wings. I don't know if he'll do that because even against West Ham, I thought we'd go for it. And we didn't get quite as an attacking lineup as I thought we'd get. We didn't get two out-and-out wingers. We got one winger and a striker on the other wing. So I'm hoping that he just lets the shackles off and away they go, you know. I'm hoping that we see those guys. Cooper and Cock in the centre, yeah, I could handle that. I don't want to see Strike back in there. I just don't think his head's in the game this season. I just want to see us go for it. I don't want to see any of this cautious shit. It's the last chance saloon. It's at the point that it's probably already gone. So what's the point of being cautious? You know what I mean? What is the point? Just crack on, Leeds. Sam needs to tell them, just fucking try, like he did at West Ham. Maybe offer some more notes to the officials. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, I mean, apparently Spurs tomorrow, they're going to have possibly Romero absent, Højbjerg absent, Eric Dyer, fat lot of difference he'll make. He's out because he had surgery. Big Sam in his press conference, he said he's willing to gamble on fitness of anybody in the squad. So still doesn't mention Ruta as a striking option, which is slightly worrying. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for gambling on fitness if people have got desire and the fire and they want to go out and play, but I don't want to see a half-fit donkey out there that's like running on one leg and is costing us more than they're contributing. So I don't want misplaced passion to fuck us over, you know. And there's probably going to be a bit of that tomorrow. There's going to be players who want to go out there. There's probably Bamford himself wants to go out and prove a point before probably signing off for Leeds. I'm not sure I see a way back for him after everything that's gone on this season, but we'll see. I saw some lunatic on Twitter was saying we could sell him for 20 million, and I just thought, be lucky to get 2 million, right? Because it's one of those things, and he's been so injury prone, but it's like, yeah, there's ability there, but we've not seen it for so long. Who's going to pay serious money for him? Who's going to choose him to be the man that leads their line? I don't see that personally. I don't see a team out there taking that risk. I just don't. Jason's saying Rodrigo will start. He's in a training video. It's out today. Let's hope that's a new video, not an old one, just to give us hope. But yeah, I think Rodrigo probably will start. He's shown enough to tell us that he cares about the club and about what's going on. So I'd be happy to see that. And on caring for the club, that just segues me into Danny's comment. Said, Jay, what do you think about Leeds legends visiting the players at training? There was no Vinny. To be honest, Danny, they probably had to hold Vinny back. He'd have probably gone in and nutted half of them and asked them what the fuck they were playing at, you know what I mean? I did tweet about this and I said, it's a bit late for that chat, innit? What's the point of bringing these guys in now at this point when it's pretty much gone and saying to them, all right, guys, we know you love Leeds. Come on, and you've done it all. You've achieved everything for this club. Come and tell these players what it means. Brilliant. So what, they've G'd them up. They go out there. They beat Spurs 6-0. And we still go down. Why? Why bring them in now? I totally agree with the sentiment. I don't think it's a bad idea in isolation. Just think the timing is it's futile. I don't know what to say. Liam saying, is Bamford and Rodrigo going to play? I just said I think Rodrigo definitely will, but I'm not sure about Bamford. I think Bamford's pushing to play, but whether he will or whether he should is another matter, I think. Oh, I've got my vodka Red Bull to keep me going here. That's what I need. Let's have a look. White Leeds, he says, out of all teams getting relegated, I feel like we are in the best position to come back up. Are we though? Are we? Am I just being too pessimistic, worrying about this? I'm not sure about that one. Problem with that is it's the ownership and everything, and the fact that we don't have a director of football yet, if we're getting one. We don't know who's running the club. We don't know who the manager's going to be. And unless we sort all this stuff out pretty quickly, then no business is going to get done anytime soon. There'll be sales, no doubt, because there'll be players who are leaving regardless of what's happening. But yeah, I'm not sure we are best placed. It really does depend on everything that happens in the next month, probably. Ideally, we'd want movement and clarity on that within a week of going down as fans, but whether we'll get that or not, I don't know. I think the whole thing with Rad's going for Sampdoria suggests that he is on his way, but you never know, do you? It's Leeds United and anything can happen, and if it's the worst possible option, then that's probably what's going to happen because that's us. Steve says Strachan and McAllister in midfield tomorrow for me. Can you imagine? I think Strachan would still run rings around Weston McKennie, so maybe not a bad shout. Danny says Ruta isn't a striker, he's a winger. Maybe so, but he's meant to be some sort of forward, isn't he? So give him a go, you know. Dan James were a winger, apparently. He got played as a striker enough. Alison says, I still think we had Sam a month earlier, it wouldn't be in this position. Yeah, I agree with that. I think, if anything, it wouldn't have been the prettiest, most entertaining football to watch, but he would have stopped a lot of that rot at the back. And we wouldn't have conceded half the goals that we have, I don't think. He'd have changed the keeper straight away anyway, wouldn't he? Like he has, and Robles has done a good job for me, so that would probably have been a big move and probably would have helped. But yeah, I don't know. We are where we are. It's disappointing. It's really hard when you love this club not to let it take over all aspects of your life and like your whole mood, your outlook, everything. It's all linked to how Leeds are doing, and it's been such a shit season. It really has. And when we got that 9th place finish, you thought, "Wow, brilliant! You know, let's move on from here. Let's build. Let's progress." And we've not even stood still. We've gone backwards, and that's the worst thing. That is the worst thing for me. We've had people in charge who have taken things for granted. They took Bielsa for granted. They thought that what was happening would just keep happening, despite the fact that he told them that it were unsustainable long term without rotating the players and replacing them after a few seasons. And Alisson's just saying here, we didn't strengthen over 3 transfer windows, and that's the crux of it, Alisson. That's it for me. It's all well and good signing a bunch of people this year, but it were too little too late. They weren't the right players, and it's shown. It's put us where we are. I mean, we signed Willie Nonto because other targets fell through. Tyler Adams is awesome. Verba is awesome, but that's it. Nobody else has really done anything that's justified signing them, spending money on them. Ruta for 35 million is just something that people are never ever going to let go of or forget, and nor should they. And it's just been a shit show, and it's frustrating because it's like every element of the club has been bad. It's like from top to bottom, the board has been full of knobheads that couldn't make a decision if their life depended on it. The coaching staff has been on a constant rotation. We've had numerous managers. We had Jesse Marsh in that couldn't fucking find his way around the Premier League with a bloody guidebook and a sticker album. It's just everything's been done wrong. Everything has been a bad decision. We signed a few players that were not up to it. The team on the pitch, even the decent players, haven't really performed to what we needed them to or expected them to. And it's just everything. It's like a perfect storm of shit that's consigning our club to the Championship in all likelihood. And it's just so hard to watch. And we turn up, we're there every week. We spend shitloads of money on this club, following them. We put all our time into it. There's people falling out with the missus or their husband because they're going to games and getting pissed with the mates and all that kind of thing. And, if you didn't have the social side of it, what would you have this year? And that's one of the things I love about this club and you guys. It's ace. We're all together. Even when it's shit, we're all together. But it's frustrating. It's hard. It's tough to go there and to cheer for people that you've got very little belief in anymore. But that's what we do. We through the games, we back them, we cheer them. They can never say that the fans haven't turned up this year. We might give them some shit now and again. We might boo when they've conceded 5 goals against Crystal Palace. But, by and large, we sing everyone's names. We sing for the team. We never stop. The fans are definitely Premier League. It's just the players that aren't. And that's what's really pissing me off at the moment. I'm rambling a bit, I know I am, so it's all right to tell me if I'm talking crap. Let's go through a few more comments. Matt Leeds says, is it just me who thinks if Dan James comes back, he would be really good in the Championship? Yes, Matt. Yes, it's just you. I don't agree with that. I don't think he's much better than Sacco was. Just quick with no real footballing product at the end of it. Maybe he could still develop a bit more, but I think that ship sailed on him. I think his stock's rock bottom now. I don't think we'll get a great deal of money back for him if we do sell him. Probably going to be about 8 or 9 million, just because he's young, relatively. Coleslaw says, arguably most signs we've brought in are poorer than the players Bielsa took over in the Championship. It's hard to argue. I mean, is Weston McKennie better than Click? Does anyone think that? I certainly don't. And I'm still annoyed that Click got pushed out of the club, to be honest, by a manager that shouldn't have even been there still at that point. But that's another thing that's on Victor Orta. Nige says, you can't manage and run a PL club on the cheap and expect to compete and survive. It's now caught up with us. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And that's what's going to happen. And that's what, they were told by Bielsa. They were told they'd have to cycle the squad and get new players. And it's, the ironic thing is, the investment hasn't been good enough. Then we waste £40 million on Augustin. And it's just stuff like that shows you exactly what is wrong with the club. It really is. Shelley says, Click is better than McKennie, but Click still wasn't good enough, in my opinion. I agree. I don't think that Click, when he left, was at the point we needed him at anymore. I don't think he was what he once was, but he was still better than McKennie, and he would have still been a better bet for me than that guy who seemingly can't wait to get out of here. So I'm not entirely sure why he's still getting picked, if I'm honest. Steve says, players, managers and owners come and go, but we'll be Leeds through and through until the day we die. Absolutely agree, mate. Absolutely agree. Rob says, of course you're rambling. You're the only one on here talking. Well, do you know what, Rob? If I want here, nobody would be here. So think yourself lucky. Extra J. That's what everyone needs. Yeah, so just looking back to Big Sam yesterday, he was saying he wants a hangover, and he wants us to pull off the miracle, I think. I'm getting those thoughts now about what if, just so I can be disappointed again, probably. But I swear to God, it's going to be the biggest party that Leeds has ever seen if we pull this off. We don't deserve it. We really don't deserve it. But you just can't stop hoping, can you? Even when your brain is telling you it's done, you can't stop hoping. And we're all going to be there on edge for the entire 90 minutes, and it's just going to be madness. It's just going to be heart pumping, sweating, adrenaline going. It's, Jesus Christ. The thing is, I just want to see him try. I don't want to see what I saw at West Ham. I don't want to see what we saw second half against Palace. I just want to see that it matters to him. I want to see an effort. I don't want to see bullshit, honestly. And if they're playing terribly and it's going really, really badly, that crowd is going to savage them to fucking pieces, man. And there's definitely players in that team who don't have the strength to cope with that. And it'll just probably go from bad to worse. If we go a couple behind, I expect it'll be a floodgates opening type job. Whereas if we go 1 up, 2 up, who knows? Who knows? That's the hope. That's what we've got to look for. That's what they've got to go out there and try and do. Just try and win that game. Any means possible. I don't care how. I don't care who scores, who does what. I mean, can you imagine if Leicester and Everton lose and Patrick Bamford scores the goal that secures Leeds United's Premier League status? I tell you what, there'll be some humble pie being forced down if that happens, won't there? Including from me. I'm not going to lie. I've given him his fair share of shit. But Jesus Christ. And this is a problem. These scenarios, they're just going now. My head's just telling me all kinds of crazy things that could happen. And I'm going to end up walking at that ground full of hope tomorrow. and I just don't want to get crushed again. I really don't. Rob says, more Jay. Anytime, mate, anytime. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you. Aidan Norton says, what about Big Sam as director of football at Leeds? I have thought about this, you know. I have wondered if perhaps that could be something that might happen. But they need to decide where they want to go philosophy-wise and what he would bring philosophy-wise in a team that's trying to get promoted rather than survive. Excuse me. So that goes back to what he said at the end of his press conference yesterday, that there's confidential stuff to be discussed. There's a lot of things to go through either way with whatever happens. So who knows? That could be a thing. That could happen. Danny hoping that we win, I think, as it's his birthday. Do you mean on Monday? I assume you mean on Monday. Well, early happy birthday for that one, mate. Rob says, does staying up or going down change what needs to happen over the summer? I think it changes the players we target. I don't think it changes much else, if I'm honest. Everything else still needs to be done. The board takeover, the choice of manager and coaches. Yeah, it's just going to be the players that we're looking to bring in and the players we're looking to move on that's affected by what league we're in, I think. Everything else is just there. It needs doing. Liam says, the board has mismanaged Leeds over the last 2 seasons. Rads relied too heavily on 49ers money. I think Rads relied too heavily on Bielsa personally. And then when it went wrong, they had nowhere to go because they didn't have a strategy or a philosophy. They didn't know what they were doing. So I think that's more to blame than anything else. But it'll be interesting to see what happens money-wise with Rads when he sells and what happens with the ground and stuff, considering the ground is owned by him and one of his companies rather than the club directly, I think it was, unless I'm imagining that. Fergal Kelly says, fecking Jay gave me hope yesterday evening as Everton and Leicester have got injuries all over their sides. Everton practically have no recognisable defence. I mean, you could say that for Leeds, couldn't you? It's like we've got a team of ghosts at the back. People just run through them like they're not there. Where are we going next? Michael Brown says, Leeds, Everton and Leicester don't deserve to stay up, to be honest. If any of those teams do stay up, there's going to have to have a major overhaul in players or the same situation next season. Yeah, I mean, Leicester, they've just been shit. But Everton, the fact that they've cheated and they're there, and it's not even that this has been figured out this season. This is something that's been known for over a season now, and there's still been no action. I mean, that stinks for me. How long would we get to go for in that position if we were a couple $100 million over the FFP rules? We would get hammered. We'd be getting another minus 15 back in the old days. You know what I mean? Absolutely ridiculous that they're just being allowed to go on and get away with this. It's infuriating, and you just know that if they stay up, the penalty will get applied for next season. They won't screw them and put them where they should be. They don't have the balls for that, the FA or the Premier League. So, but they would if it were us, funnily enough. But then we all know that, don't we? Liam says, has anybody said what really happened in the dressing room at that crazy Palace game? Not yet, but apparently McKennie's good pal is going to reveal all on the square ball, is it? After the season ends? I don't know. Bandy says, the players are trying. It's up to Sam to give them the method. I think he's trying, mate. I think he's trying. Michael Brown, Jay, it's better to accept that Leeds are down. If a miracle happens, then so be it, but it's a hope that kills you. Yeah, I know, mate. That's what I was saying. I mean, I've spent all week accepting that we're down. It's just now we're on the eve of the game, and you start to get these funny ideas, don't you? These fairy tale endings. Steve went to download, same as me, 2015. Big up, Steve. Gilly won't like that. I don't like proper music. Shelley Johnson says, whatever happens, we need a plan. 49ers in, Rads out, a proper identity, New DOF. Kieran Scott, anyone? Not sure. Not giving that any thought, to be honest. 49ers want Rodgers. I like Yondale Thomason and a team with a mixture of experience and youth. I would take Rodgers. I think that he's somebody that could possibly motivate a team to get out of that league. But you just have to hope he's not become jaded by his last couple of seasons at Leicester, where it's not really been good for him at all, has it? I think he probably survived there a bit longer than a lot of managers would have because he had a bit of credit in the bank with them. But yeah, I would take him, but whether he'd drop down, not sure about that. Steve says Everton have no defence and DCL is out, but Bournemouth are already on the beach. Maybe the pressure at home will just be too much for him. Who knows? I fully expect Everton to win that game. I'm not going to lie. I think that they're going to smash them. Bournemouth, as you say, on the beach. They've not been interested for weeks. They were up for our game, obviously, because it's us and everyone wants to beat us. And then they've lost every game since, I think. So, not a surprise, but how many times have we seen games this season where we've seen, like Forest beating Arsenal? Did Everton beat Arsenal or did they beat Scum? I can't remember. That's going to go anyway other than whichever team winning. And then they get dicked or something random happens, Who knows? What if an Everton player loses their head, gets too enthusiastic and gets sent off after 10 minutes for a 2-footed challenge? Then it's a totally different game. You don't know. Anything can happen. We're looking at things from a likelihood point of view, but there's always the wild card of it's football. Anything can happen in football, apart from Leeds United getting a decent referee. But yeah, I mean, we've just got to be hopeful, I guess. I'm going to go. I'm going to have a couple of beers. I'm going to have a day out and chat to friends and try and enjoy it as best I can for what it is, because I'll probably cry my eyes out when I get home. Might even do it on the B&C live for you lot. We'll see. But yeah, it's just I'm struggling with it a bit. It's so hard. It's so hard. Like, you'd give anything as a fan to make it all right, wouldn't you? Like, anything. You'd give anything. There's people that would, like, sell the kids to see Leeds United do well, you know what I mean? And it's so frustrating, man. Shelley says, West Ham were already on the beach last week, but they decided it was easier to beat us than mess around with a beach ball eating their ice creams. Yeah. I went to West Ham, and the Leeds fans were ace, honestly, as usual. But it was so weird because even at 1-1, I didn't think, we've blown it here, we've had it now. I thought we were going to win that game still at 1-1. And I just thought we'd be in that position this weekend that Sam wanted, where we had it in our hands. And it's like watching sand slip through your fingers, we need a miracle. And miracles just don't happen for Leeds United, do they? But who knows? Who knows? Like I said. Going forward, I don't know what's going to happen, but we need to resolve everything quickly. We need the club to not be in a limbo, and whichever league we end up in, the scenario that's gone on this year just can't happen again. We just need to get cracking, move forwards, hopefully in the Premier League, most likely not. What can you do? I'll grab a few more comments and I'll finish up because I haven't really got much else to say, to be completely honest, and I'm starting to get bored of my own voice now. So, Michael Brown says, Everton are due for penalty points deduction at the start of next season. Yeah, next season. 10 to 15 points. Reading with deducted points this season, as were Wigan in the Championship 2 seasons ago, which sent them to League One. Yeah, exactly. There's precedent. And yet, it just doesn't get applied. The Premier League are spineless, and they are scared of the clubs. They're scared of legal proceedings and all kinds of other shit. Either that or they're corrupt. So I'm going to choose to believe that they're scared of getting into a fight with clubs, because nothing else makes any sense, does it? Bandy says, as you said, Jay, negative football is killing us. Sam must force the issue. Yeah. Do you know, there's going to be people on the fence with this, because do you risk going a goal behind by being open early? Or do you try and be cautious for 45 minutes and then go for it? I don't think we can afford to be cautious. I don't want to concede, obviously, but we don't score enough goals for me to be limiting our attacking intent to a section of a game. You know, I think we need to be looking to take the lead, get on the front foot right from the off. There's no time, there's no place left for caution. It's throw caution to the wind, literally. It's shit or bust. It's never been so shit or bust. So I do not want to see any caution there. Nige D says, I bet the EPL really want Everton to stay up, Scouse Derby's new stadium, etc. No doubt about it. But then, you know, Leeds, we've got the games with Scum. We've got one of the best atmospheres in the world, which comes across on TV. I don't know. It's never really felt like anybody in any sort of high places has helped us or wanted to help us, has it? So who knows? Michael says, once Bournemouth beat Leeds, that guaranteed their safety, hence they've dropped off since then, losing 3 matches in a row. Yeah, I know, yeah. That was the game that secured it for them. So, as you say, they're just not, they're not bothered now. They're done. They've got nothing to play for, nothing to prove. But hopefully, they'll want to sign off with a win. Shelley, the players should be made to watch Leeds United podcasts and see what it means to us all. Jesus Christ. I think if they watch this, we'd end up getting shut down due to complaints. Michael says, Championship won't be easy, but if Leeds get the right recruitment, right player management-wise, spotting director, the team could be in the mix next season. Absolutely. That's what we need to do. Wickerman says, Allardyce needs to stay to teach the team how to defend for one full season. No pretty football, just get to learn basic football. I want to see good football next year if we're in that league. I don't want a double dose of relegation and shit defensive football. I really don't. But obviously, something has to be done with defence, but I'm not sure if that's it. I don't know. We'll see. Mr. Dodo says, makes me laugh sometimes because people say we're a small club, yet everyone wants to play us, everyone wants to beat us. Absolutely. It's always a big scalp to beat Leeds United, and everyone's always up for it. We are the game that a lot of people look out for. Shelley says, did you hear about the fake interview with Orta? Loopy? No, I've not heard that. Is that the one where that guy said he had an interview with him on Twitter? Because I didn't actually read anything after that. I just saw that was being said, but I assumed it was legit. So, no, I didn't. I've not seen that yet. Michael says, teams that bounce back into the Premier League keep the same core of players with a few additions like the Blades this season, Fulham, Norwich. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's going to be at least half that first team going there. But if we can keep the main players in the spine, if we could keep, Verba, Adams, Nonto, the club have said they want to keep Adams and Nonto. So if we could keep those guys, maybe even Rodrigo, but I don't see him staying. And I'd keep Robles in goal for Championship season. I think he's done a good job. He's been solid, and you can't drop a guy who's not done anything wrong, can you? Liam says, great stream, Jay. Leeds. Cheers, mate. Appreciated. Might do this again sometime, seeing as I've not been booed off. Not yet, anyway. Derek says, really good of Rads getting better QSI for Sampdoria, but not willing to allow him to invest in LUFC. Yeah. It says a lot, that, doesn't it? Says a lot. I like to think it's because we're so moral, we won't have QSI, obviously. We don't want their money. Out. Paul O'Connell says, how could any other manager or someone involved in recruitment of other clubs want to go near 90% of these wasters? Most of them would have been sacked within weeks in any other industry. Yes, mate, agreed. But for some reason, there's always clubs willing to take a player. I put it down to it's kind of the same thing, you know. When you see I'm going to get shit for saying this, but when you see like one of these girls who like meets some guy and is an arsehole, and they know he's an arsehole, but they think they're going to change him, they're going to come good for them, you know. That's what I put it down to with football players. Clubs just think, yeah, it'll be fine. He just didn't like it there. He wasn't happy. They'll soon find out that he's still an arsehole, and they'll have to move him on. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's it for me, really. I've done sort of just over half an hour. I feel a bit better for chatting about the game. I'm glad you guys have joined in. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hoping for that miracle tomorrow. You know, we just got to see what happens and keep the faith, I suppose, and whatever happens, ups and downs, innit? Right then, cheers for joining me, everyone. I shall catch you on the next pod. I don't know if I'm on B&C or not because I've not bloody looked yet, and I fully expect to be unconscious by tomorrow evening, regardless of what happens. But somebody will be back either Sunday night or Monday, and then we'll have a main pod Tuesday. But keep an eye out for us. Give us a like and a subscribe, and let's see where we are the next time we're all together. Adios.